thank you all for showing up on such a beautiful North Carolina morning. My name is Brian Irving. I'm with Free the Vote North Carolina, and I'm going to be very, very quick with this press conference. We have some people here that you're probably going to want to talk to afterwards, but to begin the festivities, I'd like to introduce Jordan Green, who is the founder and president of Free the Vote North Carolina, to make some remarks and make our big announcement.
Good morning, and thank you all for coming out. I'd like to start off by giving a brief description of our organization and then a little bit about what we're actually here for today. Acclaimed political scientist Giovanni Sartori, author of The Theory of Democracy, once said that voting without free choice cannot result in representative government. And we here today believe that Sartori was right. As a result of North Carolina's ballot access laws, the state has denied its citizens truly representative government for nearly the last 2 decades with some of the nation's most onerous ballot access laws. It is for this cause that Free the Vote North Carolina was formed in June of 2008 to extend free choice and preserve democratic government. Free the Vote North Carolina is a nonpartisan political action committee dedicated to preserving freedom of speech, association, and the right to vote of every North Carolinian through educational research and legislative advocacy. Our goal is to ensure North Carolina gives the people of this state an equal and fair chance to be represented at the polls by promoting electoral reforms that will provide equal access to the election ballot to all political parties and unaffiliated candidates, and to end voter discrimination based on political affiliation, an act which North Carolina has been guilty for in varying degrees for over a century at this point. North Carolina has the second most restrictive ballot access laws in the entire nation, and this scheme of ballot access laws is deliberately intended to impede competition to the two major parties by placing unreasonable and unnecessary burdens on any potential electoral competitors through restrictive signature requirements in most other states, unparalleled in most other states. For instance, a new political party to obtain access to the ballot here in North Carolina has to get over 85,000 signatures based on a legal requirement of 2% of the vote cast in the last gubernatorial election. Only one other state in the nation, the nation's largest state actually, California, requires more than North Carolina does. Today, we gather here to begin a set of positive changes in North Carolina's ballot access laws. To accomplish this goal, I'm proud to announce the formation of the Free the Vote Coalition, a truly nonpartisan alliance of alternative political parties and public policy organizations joined together in the common cause of the right to vote. As our central purpose, groups have joined together to work for passage of the Electoral Freedom Act of 2011 to restore the right of every citizen to vote for the candidate of their choice, a right currently denied by the state's exploitative, unequal, and free speech stifling laws that keep most political parties and alternative candidates off of the election ballot. Currently, members of this coalition, in addition to Free the Vote North Carolina, are the Conservative Party, the Constitution Party, the Green Party, Libertarian Party, the Modern Whig Party, the North Carolina Center for Voter Education, the NC Common Cause, Democracy NC, and the John Locke Foundation. We also gratefully welcome other organizations interested in free elections to join this coalition to help us preserve and restore the North Carolinians' right to vote. Through its member organizations, the Free the Vote Coalition will work to network groups and individuals from across the state, representing all shades and colors of the political spectrum in support of the Electoral Freedom Act. We will work to restore free choice and in turn the right to vote in North Carolina. The Free the Vote Coalition is extremely grateful to Representative Stephen LaRoque, who has not only agreed to be the primary lead sponsor, but been instrumental in lining up additional sponsors and co-sponsors for the bill. We're also grateful to Democracy North Carolina and the North Carolina Green Party for helping us gather additional sponsors in both political parties in the General Assembly. Joining Representative LaRoque as confirmed primary sponsors are Representative Glenn Bradley and Paul Lukey. Several other representatives have also agreed to sign on as co-sponsors to the bill, including the legislature's only unaffiliated candidate, Representative Burt Jones. This in itself shows that our wide-ranging coalition has and can continue to have a positive effect and make a difference. Such support makes this legislation more than just a nonpartisan bill. It is a transpartisan bill that transcends political parties and ideologies to connect to the fundamental issue at hand, that of inherent freedom. The Electoral Freedom Act will enact basic and fundamental reforms in North Carolina's ballot access laws. It will establish clear, simple, and less restrictive means for ballot access, regulations that are applicable to all parties and unaffiliated candidates. The bill will eliminate percentage-based requirements to allow political parties and candidates to clearly discern the goal they must achieve for ballot access. For example, the bill will lower the number of new signatures a new political party needs for ballot placement to a fixed 10,000 signatures. It would also significantly lower the number of signatures for an unaffiliated statewide candidate to 5,000 signatures, and lower the requirements for offices from the U.S. Congress to your city and council, using numbers which are reasonable and more in line with our neighboring states such as Kentucky and Virginia. While the Electoral Freedom Act is not the end of our state's need for electoral reform, it is undoubtedly a step in the right direction. It will allow for a free flow of ideas and allow voters to freely express their views to the candidates of their choice without discrimination based on their political affiliation and desires. Free the Vote North Carolina is proud to have brought together groups with such divergent political ideologies and views in this common cause. We believe this unity clearly demonstrates that ballot access reform is not a partisan or special interest group issue, but a question of fundamental freedom that transcends political differences. This coalition believes that the Tar Heel State can and must do better than its current laws, and that free choice on the election ballot is not an issue that can be flippantly dismissed, but an issue of utmost importance to democratic ideals. Free choice and truly representative government demand that North Carolina break down these barriers to political competition or participation, and so do the members of the Free the Vote Coalition. Thank you.
There are copies of Jordan's statement available for those of you who may need it for notes. At this point, I'd like to introduce some of the members of the coalition, representatives of members of the coalition. We have the Conservative Party, but we do not have somebody here from the Conservative Party. We have Kevin Hayes from the Constitution Party, and Al Pisano. Is Al here? Al's not here. Okay. Dick Paddock, who's one of the co-chairs of the Green Party, and Nick Triplett, also from the Green Party. Andrew Evans from the Modern Whig Party. Andrew, there you go. Damon Sacosta from the NC Center for Voter Education. Bob Phillips from Common Cause. Bob Hall from Democracy NC. And Aaron Bass from the John Locke Foundation. And I think that it's significant that when you can get the John Locke Foundation and Democracy NC agreeing on one thing, we've done something. Well, Jordan talked about the bill transcending political differences. It's a transpartisan bill. I also like to introduce and give Representative Stephen LaRoque an opportunity to say some words if he chooses. No? Okay. And Representative LaRoque has been our head man as far as getting this bill drafted and introduced. Representative Paul Lukey has also agreed to be a sponsor. And did I get everybody? Okay. Anybody who's... Pardon? What's your name? Oh, I'm Brian Irving. I'm with the Free the Vote, Vice President, and I'm going to be chair of the Free the Vote Coalition Committee. Okay. And I'm also a Libertarian. Oh, I forgot. Barbara Howe, the chair of the Libertarian Party. And Sean Hall is also with the Libertarian Party. Okay, at this point, Representative Lukey, did you say you wanted to say some words?
I'll say a couple of words.
Okay.
It'll be very brief.
Okay.
I'm very proud to sponsor this legislation, and opening up the ballot to other candidates is important for our democracy and our republic to thrive. I believe that's the way the founders intended it, and this bill will greatly lower the requirements of getting onto the ballot through requiring a certain number of signatures, such as for Congress 1,000 signatures, for the North Carolina Senate 300 signatures, House 150. These numbers could possibly change, but I think they're going to be low enough to where it doesn't block people and become a tremendous interference to being able to file for public office. One of the reasons why I'm very interested in this bill is because I had to go out and get 10% of the signatures in order to place a referendum on a ballot a couple of years ago. And it's kind of an onerous amount when you consider 10%. Imagine pushing that out statewide when they had to get, I believe it was about 80,000 signatures. So I'm looking forward to this going into committee, to Election Law Committee, coming out, going to the House floor, and getting a positive vote, and moving over to the Senate, hopefully in the very near future. Any questions on anything?
What was the issue you needed to get on the ballot? Was that a local issue?
It was a local issue referendum on changing the elections in the city of Kinston from partisan to nonpartisan, where once it got on the ballot, it received 64% of the vote. And of course, you may be familiar with that case. It's now in a federal lawsuit, Locke v. Holder. It's now in the U.S. Court of Appeals up in Washington. But DOJ turned us down under Section 5. As the only city east of Winston-Salem that still has partisan municipal elections.